All right, I'm going to start with you. Your first of all, reaction here to a new person standing up there and getting grilled by the press. How'd she do?
I think she did very well, actually. For somebody who was having a first time, Sarah Huckabee Sanders was able to go out, eloquently put forward the president's message and the president's views without getting herself into trouble, no gaffes, nothing that is going to make news. She prepared the media with information and didn't distract from the message. So she looks very good in that role.
Pretty good, and she didn't drop all her papers like I just did. David, what do you think? You know, and be kind. I know you're on the other side of the aisle here, but just assess it from a non-political viewpoint here. How did she do in terms of handling the press?
Look, I have to agree. She did quite well. She seems very capable, very competent, very confident. Looks like she's done it many times before, to be honest. And I think she did a good job of supporting the president, of stating things that the president would be supportive of in a way that the president does. I don't think that some of her responses with respect to health care are going to make anyone feel any better about the problems with the health care bill as it passed the House. And I think she's overly optimistic about the chances of it passing the Senate in its current form.
Yeah,
but with respect to representing the president's interests, she did a good job.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
she did a good job.
You know, you got to be able to spin stuff up there as well.
Right.
And you got to have the press believe your spin. So it sounds like, by all accounts, she did a pretty darn good job for her first outing there. Because I'll tell you, it's not easy when you're getting badgered by the likes of that mainstream media. Let's move on here to the news of the day. First, I want to start with the jobs report, because this is good. This is exactly what we need. 211,000 jobs being added to this economy. The unemployment rate dropping to 4.4%. I mean, we haven't seen numbers like that in ages. Evan, does this suggest then just the fact that Donald Trump is in the Oval Office, just the fact that he's talking about tax reform, healthcare reform, that people are feeling more optimistic enough to go out and hire?
Since the day President Trump took office, Americans have felt better and more positive about the economy. And they actually are going out and they're saying, I'm going to invest. Businesses are saying, I'm going to hire. And when you couple that with how President Trump has reduced overburdensome regulations on businesses, we can go out and we can hire more people. And I'm sure David will say, well, it's really bleed over from the Obama economy. And, you know, for the first month, maybe, yes, he has a case. But after that, Donald Trump is in charge, and the buck stops with him, and he deserves the credit.
Yeah, but, you know, well, David, I'll let you refute that. I mean, do you think he gets any credit here for this jobs report?
I'm sorry, but he doesn't. That's not how the economy works. There's nothing that President Trump or the Trump administration have done yet to improve the economy. This is definitely carryover from the Obama administration, and the Obama administration did a great job of decreasing unemployment. So to be fair, it hasn't happened yet. I'm not saying that Trump isn't going to do anything.
Because you know what? It's not entirely because of Obama, and I'm going to tell you why I know this. One, I've covered the economy like forever, and two, confidence matters. How people feel, really, David. It matters. If you're going to hire,
but all due respect, how can you say there's confidence? He has all-time historically low approval ratings from America.
Because, and this goes right back to the polling data we saw, people feel pressured. They can't say that they like him, but I'll tell you, you talk to anybody in business, you talk to small business owners, you talk to big business owners, and if you say to them, I want to separate Donald Trump, the man, the character, the Access Hollywood tape, from the economic policy itself, they will all tell you less regulation a good thing, lower corporate taxes a good thing, lower individual taxes a good thing. This is what gives people the confidence to go out and hire. So you cannot say, David, that this is something he has had nothing to do with, because he's had everything to do with that sense of confidence.
But polls could be a little bit off, and maybe they are a little bit off, but to say that people are incredibly confident in a president who has historically low approval ratings, that's just, we got to live in the real world here.
David, if you look at November and leading into the election, even in the primaries on both the Democratic and the Republican side, voters, be they progressive or conservative, felt like they were being left out of the economy. And you can say that President Obama had a great record and all, but he certainly didn't have Americans believing in it. And now President Trump has taken office and Americans believe again.
You know, I can tell you, I spoke to union workers recently, and, you know, that's another one. Historically, David, they always voted for the Democratic Party. But they have felt as though no one in the Democratic Party has been looking out for them in a way that they need. And, yeah, there are things that they don't like about the president, but they sure as heck like the fact that he wants to renegotiate NAFTA right now. So that's what I'm talking about. Overall, a sense of confidence in economic future. And that plays into a jobs report for sure. I'm going to see you guys in a little bit, so don't go anywhere. We got more to talk about. All right, take a listen, everyone. I want you to hear this, because this is what the Dems are saying, or should I say singing. This is what they did just moments after the health care bill passed in the House. Listen. You hear that? You know that refrain from that song? The Democrats singing and waving goodbye to their Republican counterparts, basically taunting them, saying, they're not going to win the midterm election in 2018. Juvenile behavior. This is what I'll tell you, this is what is wrong with politics. When you got people like that acting like clowns down there singing a song like that, trying to taunt the other side and saying, it's over for you now because you did this. It shows you they are not interested in the future of the American people. They are interested in themselves. They are interested in re-election. And this just symbolizes why America is so frustrated with all of them. Evan Siegfried and David Tafuri are back with me. And Evan, your reaction to that very poor display of behavior.
It was beneath the dignity of the office they were elected to. To be honest with you, it was in poor taste, and we shouldn't be having congressmen come out and celebrate the fact that they think a vote that another or the other side has taken is going to have them kicked out of office. They're sent there to actually work with Congress and the president because people in 2016 told the members of Congress and elected officials they're sick and tired of dysfunction in Washington, and that is the lowest it's gotten.
And this is an example of that dysfunction. I mean, no class, number one, that's clear. But then they put that right out there on display for the entire world to see. I mean, David, you had to, as a Democrat, don't you feel ashamed by that?
Well, I agree that that was poor form. There's no place for taunting in the legislative process. That was a mistake. But the Democratic members have a point. House Republicans have put themselves in jeopardy by passing a bill that takes away the protections for pre-existing conditions. This is not likely what Americans want, and we'll see as the process goes forward whether that stays in the bill. As you noted, this is the first step. This goes to the Senate, and the Senate is likely to do their own bill.
It was disgusting of them to do that. It reduces this to nothing but politics. It's wrong.